Yeah, welcome back to the firehouse for some more firehouse reasoning. I think tonight in the firehouse we'll be teaching about humanity, human beings. In this teaching, I would like everyone to consider themselves a human being rather than a Christian or a Muslim or whatever name we want to put ourselves under, a communist or whatever. In this teaching, we are all human beings. Because when we segregate up ourselves, I say, and call ourselves Christian and Muslim and Africans and Chinese and Japanese and all these different labels that we like to call ourselves, I think we miss the point. What I mean by we miss the point is that sometimes you will hear people say, oh, Muslims are under attack. Or the Christian might feel that they're under attack. But when we move away from the labels, we find out that it is not Muslims who are under attack or Christians or whatever. It is human beings who are under attack. You understand? In general, human beings are under attack. The South American Indians are not Muslim, but they're under attack. The Chinese people are not necessarily Christians, but they're under attack. You know what I mean? So we're not looking at any particular group. You know, when we group ourselves up in these groups and then we say, oh, that group is under attack, or that group. Human beings are under attack, no matter where these human beings are. As long as, like I say, they're, if they don't fall into the elitist group wherever they are, they're under attack. Now, if we are all human beings and we are under attack, who are we under attack from? We are not under attack from aliens. That's for sure. No aliens is attacking the earth. So us human beings on earth are under attack, suffering from this attack. Hundreds and thousands have died from the attack upon human beings. So we have to examine then, if it's not aliens, and we can establish this firmly, that no, it is not the moon men or the Mars men or Jupiter men or, you know, it is not no unseen force that is attacking us human beings. So we are under attack from our fellow human beings. Now, why would another human being attack another human being? They say we are human beings, isn't it? Now, this is where the problem comes in, I say. Where, because of the natural state of life of positive and negative, some human beings have chosen the negative. Those who have chosen the negative are the beings who are attacking their fellow human beings. There's no way you could choose positivity and then think or cause harm to your fellow human being. Now we find out that if another human being is hurting another human being, it is because of the negative way that such a being has chosen to live life. Because in life you have a choice. And if you don't make the correct choice, you've made the wrong choice. And once you made the wrong choice, you are going to carry out wrong actions. You understand what I mean? So the problem of life that we human beings face is our brothers, our fellow human beings as well, who have made the wrong choice. And like I say, this making the wrong choice is not the prerogative of a certain group of humans, because we are all humans, so we are all involved in the choice, all of us together. You know what I mean? So coming back even to our reasoning yesterday, as a human being, it is your duty to understand the choices that you are making. And also to understand, like I stressed before, that there is consequences to actions. You know, that's how the universe works. There's consequences even if you are not aware of this. I say just before I come on camera here, me and Mr. Marius was reasoning, my friend. That's what I call him, Marius. We was just reasoning about how one could get the body fit physically. And then Marius was saying that he never know that the same process could apply to the mind. But it's not only Marius who wasn't aware of this. The majority of us is not aware of this, because you cannot see the mind. You know what I mean? So we can see our physical body, and we can see that it's out of shape. And then we can decide, oh, we are out of shape, we need to train and get fit. But because the mind is not that obvious, you cannot see how bloated it is, and how overweight and saggy and slow the mind is. Otherwise, you would set about training it. But because you cannot comprehend that the mind is overweight and sluggish, you are doing nothing about it. But trust me, if you want to, which most human beings are overweight in the mind, to an alarming degree, I say. And the only way now to get the mind fit is to exercise the mind. And you exercise the mind by ceasing wrongdoings. And the more you cease from wrongdoing, the healthier the mind becomes. The fitter the mind becomes, the more clearer it can understand and see things. You know what I mean? Because it's in a healthy state. But when it's in an unhealthy state, and it's only the negative ways that make the mind unhealthy, just like how it's only disease that make the physical body sick. You understand? And only the antidote for these diseases can get rid of it. Same process in the mind. It's only disease that make the mind unhealthy or over bloated. Disease like hate, lust, jealousy, greed, spite, racism, you know what I mean? Nationalism, communism, democracy, religion, you know, all these things contribute to make the mind a gluttony, you know what I mean? Perverted, sex entertainment, you know, those kind of things. Make if you could see the mind of such beings, trust me, you would be disgusted. It's absolutely ridiculous. But nevertheless, like I say, because these same unhealthy beings who are disease riddled in the mind and the physical plane, they control finances and thing and so forth. So they appear good. And they don't even appear as if the mind is overweighted and bloated, because you cannot see the mind. If it was a physical thing, you would be able to see them clearly, and you would know exactly why. Like when you see somebody who is hugely overweight, you know why, isn't it? And so you would know why people's mind are so look so horrible and grotesque. And the only way your mind can be grotesque, because trust me, the creative energy never create a grotesque mind. You are the one who come now and start to grow these negativity within the mind and make it appear as if it's a grotesque place. But like I say, it's just like any weeds can grow up anywhere, but you can always remove them. And until such removal go on, then the mind is going to be grotesque, like I say. You know, and you will continue to grow and add to your weeds. Because these weeds, it so happens that the weeds of the mind, that humans seem, like I say, to enjoy them. You know what I mean? So they, rather than root them out, they plant more of these things within the mind. And the more of these things that they plant, the further into confusion they go away from themselves, where they cannot see themselves as human beings anymore, but as Spanish, French, English, Japanese, African, Chinese, and all these different labels that they try to divide themselves by. Understand what I mean? What? I'm telling you that well, you're not going to see these things in a clarity. You know what I'm saying? If the mind is clogged with negativity, it's only when, like I say, when the body is fit, it can run very fast. And it's only when the mind is fit that it can see clearly then, and see into the oneness of life. You know? I love to repeat the oneness, you know. One universe, one planet Earth, one race of people, human beings, and the one spirit that dwell within them all and watch them all from within. Terrible and dreadful overlord himself, Rastafari, the High General. Now this High General, like I'm telling you, has been watching man from the dawn of time. Wherever it is that man come into existence, I am the one that watch it all from within. I am here, there, everywhere. You know what I mean? But of course you're not going to know who I am if you are not living correctly, if you are not subjecting yourself to self-discipline, if you do not understand that you are a human being, and if you don't understand the oneness of life. And I'm telling you, you ain't going to understand none of these oneness or anything if you are living in any way, like I say, nationalistic. You are racist, you are greedy, you are selfish, spiteful. If you are negative, then you are just going to be comprehending the negative aspect of life. You see what I mean? Like a one, you will just understand one side. You won't be able to, like I say, shift from the negative to the positive, so that you can understand both the positive and the negative. In other words then, I know it sounds drastic to you people, because sometimes when I tell my friend that me and the devil is friend, he finds such a thing so alarming. But how are you going to understand if you do not understand the positive and the negative? That is within thyself. So you know those who claim that they know God, yeah, well, you better know the devil as well, innit? Otherwise you are just looking at one side of the story. So one must have a full grasp of God and of what you call the devil. the negative master that is within. And did you hear our describe Rastafari, terrible and dreadful overlord, himself the high general, one that has been dwelling from the dawn of creation? Well, our friend the devil that is within is flexing on that level as well. Terrible and dreadful Satan himself, the high devil that has been dwelling from the dawning of time and has tested any man or woman who has come into this life, whether it was in that time, this time, or the time to come. I am the negative one that dwell within all. You see what I mean? And no one come into this life unless I examine them properly. And no one go on to know any truth unless they pass my test. Because I am the supreme tester of the souls of human beings. Yeah? So when you get to know the devil then, what you deem to call the devil, which is the negative one that dwell within, you will understand these things and understand the purpose of such a one, if you know what I mean. But you're not going to be able, you will be, if the mind is not fit, of course the mind is not going to comprehend this. And any unfit mind listening to me, it's going to sound to you as if I'm speaking a load of bullshit, and I wouldn't be surprised. You see, because I am not, my words that I am speaking, trust me, it is not for those with unclean mind. It can only be comprehended by those who intend to clean the mind, or is in the process of doing so, or who would like to do so, if you know what I mean. Here the Chris come back to the Christian saying, they have ears to hear yet they do not hear. You know what I mean? So only those whose ears are open on the spiritual plane can hear my words. You know what I mean? If you are busy down in the land of negativity, where you are divided amongst yourself, you know what I mean, where you are working, I say, under the influence of Babylon, then of course you are not going to be able to comprehend what I'm trying to teach you then. Not teach you, I open your mind to. I don't like to use the word teach. I don't teach anyone. I cannot teach anyone. Neither do I want to teach anyone. I know who can teach all human beings. Yeah. Anyone who need the teacher, what I can do, because I know the teacher myself personally, so I can introduce you to the teacher, show you the way. But once I show you the way, no, I can't lead you there to the teacher. But if you follow the instructions that I am giving, then I'm sure I am I say a lot of trillion% certain that if you stick to the routine, you will discover the teacher. Just like if you stick to a diet, you will lose your weight. If you stick to your exercise regime, you must get fit. You see what I mean? So if you stick to self-discipline, living honestly, with a love for the whole earth and all the humans that are dwelling in it, you must reach your understanding, because your mind is bound to get fit by doing such activity. You know, it's automatic that you will get fit and comprehend what oneness is. You see, and understand the laws of life then, where you can wipe away all unnecessary fears, if you know what I mean. So this kind of a way now, we don't like if I was a Rasta man, well I am a Rasta, you know, but if it was if Rasta was something that you join, then I could only be talking to Rasta men. But I'm not talking to Rasta men, I'm talking to human beings, because that's what we are, innit? Human beings. Anywhere you are on the planet. Because it's one law for all. Ain't a lot of different laws, you know what I mean? Just one law. So I am preaching the one law to all human beings, because all human beings have to do what I tell them. Well, if they don't do what I say, you will just you don't have to do what I say, if you know what I mean. But if you don't do what I say, then you are going to remain in the darkness that you are. And when I say, any human that is speaking the truth, if you don't do what those humans who have opened their intelligence to the oneness of life, if the rest of humans do not listen to them, then they are going to remain in darkness, aren't they? Without any understanding. Because that is the only way that we can come to any understanding. That's the only way that we can be what I call intelligent. Now, you can be out-intelligent, like I say, because intelligence carry a shadow. That means it have a negative. There's a negative aspect to intelligence. And that is what is now what we would call physical intelligence, of creating a computer and those kind of things, making an aeroplane and all. But that kind of intelligence, we don't need to be honest and truthful to produce that. Even the most vile and wicked human being can be intelligent in negativity. Can be an architect, a doctor, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because that's a physical but true intelligence cannot be gathered when when your heart is wicked, when your mind is not clean, when you have weeds growing in your garden, negativity. Ain't no way such a being can be intelligent. Oh yeah, you can be out-intelligent, but not in. Because whenever one is intelligent, then one knows the oneness of life, the oneness of all beings, the oneness of creation, and the one teacher that dwell within. You can comprehend these things. But until such time, there is no way that you are going to comprehend this matter simply because you went to university and they teach you how to be a good electrician or a good chemist or these kind of things. You know what I mean? It cannot be done that way. No way. You yourself have to live. You don't understand? You yourself have to live it. Not by you, like I say, appearing in some form of college, yeah, and some universities, and because you happen to find yourself in a rich family. You can afford to go to these great, what I call brainwashing institution, where they can learn you out intelligent, for sure, and give you tell you that you have IQ. Yeah? But these kind of outward intelligence and inward intelligence, like I'm telling you, is two different things. The man with the outward intelligent, yeah, his mind is still sick. If you could see him, he's still overweighted. He hasn't trained the mind. But obviously he's been deceived to think that he's got a healthy mind and that he's very smart, because the system employ him to use his mind just for finding out negative intelligence, like building computer, gun, poison, atomic weapon, those kind of things, and pay him very well to investigate the physical, and he can do this quite well without being an honest person, if you know what I mean. But such a being now cannot understand the spiritual aspect of life. You can never again have intelligence. You have out-intelligence. Because to have intelligence, internal intelligence, the true understanding, understand the law, it one have to live positively and honestly. You can't behave like those who are living negatively, like I say, are those who are negatively intelligent, who have no morals. You know, you have to find morality and live by a code, not by what anyone tell you. When I say a code, you don't go and join any organization and they tell you how to live morally. You instinctively know how to live moral, so just do it. You know what's right. No one don't have to tell another human being how to behave, right? We know it, so we just do it. You see what I mean? And when you are doing it, living it, that is what opened the eye. Not when you like I tell you before in this teaching, those who are following Bibles and Korans and all other holy books, this is what negative outwardly intelligent people do. They have outward intelligence, and they are following the ways of outward intelligence. That's what they do. You see what I mean? But when you know in the inward way, when you have intelligence, you don't do that. You follow the inward way, where intelligence come from. Intelligence never come from outside, did it? Whatever the religious man, as an example, him chiefly, whatever he's got written in his Bible, it never come from outside himself, did it? It come from within man to get into the book. You see what I mean? So the source of the intelligence of his book is within. It is not outside. But obviously the outside man cannot comprehend such matters, like I say, because he's living negatively, and because he's living negatively, he's got to rely on negative things for his assistance or his understanding. Hence the fact why he's got to cling to a Bible or a Quran or any other whatever other books he claimed that has been revealed to him by prophets or saints. I like to laugh when I hear those kind of madness. I say only idiotic only idiotic being keep going on about how God send angels and prophets and no. When you understand what intelligence is, you can see how stupid and ridiculous, and you will know that this is just the utterance of beings who are deluded by the outer form of intelligence, by the shadow of it. They have no understanding what intelligence is. And the only reason why beings get deceived by the outward form is because they themselves are not honest and truthful beings. If your intention, right, is not to be honest and truthful within this life, then you ain't going to see the truth. Because you can only see it if your intention is to live good with your fellow human being and understand if there is any meaning and purpose within life. You can't find it out, like I say, when you're hating or when you're thinking negatively of your fellow human being. Because such behavior is what make your eyes remain unopened. And a blind man cannot see on the spiritual level. You know, you will see on the physical, but you'll never see on the mental. You'll remain blind, because your action in the physical will blind you on the mental. So that's why we say when we say that you are dead, we know that you're not dead because you're still walking about in the physical, but you're mentally dead. And that is where the blindness is. The blindness is not on the physical plane. Well, and though some people are, but most people are not blind on the physical plane. They have eyes and they can see. But from a mental point of view, you can't see. You are blind. You know, on the mental plane, you are blind and you are not alive. You are a dead being. And what causes you to what blinds you or make you dead is the behavior that you are carrying out on the physical plane. You see what I mean? So you need to change this behavior. And what behavior now, like I say, we go over it all the time. What behavior could blind you on the physical plane? You have to live in the physicality. So it's the greed, the selfishness, the lust, the perversion. All these things are what combine when one is involved in such behavior that entangles one mind into darkness. And the only way to get out of this darkness is to be honest and be truthful to oneself first. You know? And that means if you was going to do that now, you would have to admit to yourself that you are wrong in your negative ways. Once you admitting that one is wrong is the greatest thing in life. Because now that you admit that you are wrong, you can do something about it. But if you cannot admit that you are wrong, then you will be thinking that you are right. Then you can't do nothing about it. That's a stubborn fool. Such a being will never heal themselves. But if you want to heal yourself, there's nothing wrong with saying, oh, you know what, I'm wrong, you know. Or I was deceived, I was tricked. Nothing wrong. We've all been deceived and been tricked. Or we've all been wrong at some point in our life, you know what I mean? So, it is, all it takes, like I say, is to be honest. And you're not going out being honest to the whole world. You're just going to be honest to your own self. And from admitting to yourself that you are wrong, then you can do something about changing yourself. Once you start to change yourself, don't worry, the world around you will change. You will see things differently. I'm not saying that the wars are going to stop and killing is going to stop in the world, but you will see them differently anyway. You'll be able to cope with it then, without it driving you silly. If you know what I mean. Because once your eyes are open, you will see that there is meaning and purpose in life. And you will understand that there is consequences to action. You will know that life is eternal. You don't have to think, oh, I have to wait until somebody come back from the dead to tell. No, the way that you live will show you. When you live honestly, you will know for yourself, so you won't have to be in any doubt or wonder, you know, because nothing in life is mysterious that you can't figure out, you know. We are a mystery already anyway, and we've got the ability to understand whatever we encounter, if you know what I mean. Here, so we can unravel the mysteries of life, or what we deem to be mystery. But what I am always telling people, don't try, right, and go inside. Just live honestly. And then you will be inside and you don't know how you get to be understanding. See what I mean? Just concentrate on living honestly. Concentrate on being truthful and honest. Like I say, because when you do that now, that is the key. You know, like when you're going into a house and you have a set of keys, yeah, that open the door. That's what honesty and truthfulness is. It's a key. But these keys now are different from those other keys. They open all doors. You know what I mean? Not just some door you can only open the front door with it. But in the mansion, there's other doors that you need other key. No. Honesty open all doors that are in the house that you're heading in. All of them. You know? So, one should never mind being religious, like I say, joining religion and praying to God and all this kind of business. What one should do is to be honest with oneself, truthfully honest, and then you will find out that you will be honest to everybody else. When you are honest, that is when your eyes will open. When your eyes is open, that's when you will come to understanding. When you come to understanding, that's when you will bring peace to the world. But without this, coming to understanding, you cannot bring peace to the world. Because you won't know what peace is, innit? You would be divided among within yourself, like we are now. Humans are divided. Humans are racist. Yeah, human don't like black in general. Even the blacks, they like to look like themselves. A lot of them. They light and bleach themselves. So you see, you humans here are what in England would say you are balmy. You know what I mean? That you hate yourself to a ridiculous length and hate one another. But of course you're going to hate one another and behaving in human way against one another. And the reason why you do this is because you lack the intelligence. Because no intelligent being would behave in this unintelligent matter. You are behaving in the opposite way to intelligence. So when the opposite of intelligence, I say, must be idiocy. So these other humans who are behaving unintelligent, they are behaving idiotically. You wouldn't even call it idiotically because they are behaving vile and evil. They are killing old people, young people, babies, everything is dying just because of their greed and selfishness. You know what I mean? So it's not that those who choose negativity are harmless. They are not harmless. They are the one who is causing the attack against their fellow human being. Like I say, we are not under attack from spacemen upon Mars and these. We are under attack from our fellow human being. And the reason why we are under attack from them, that they are malfunctioning. They are unintelligent. They are intelligent. So because when one lacks intelligence, one can behave irrationally. I say within the universe, because you don't understand the law. So these beings who lack intelligence but appear as if they do, because all these unintelligent beings have been well educated, like I say, in the ways of unintelligence, by going to what they deem to be this college and that college and be privately educated in the art of stupidity. You know what I mean? So it appears as if by some default they are intelligent, but they are not. You cannot be intelligent when you are suffering from the symptoms of greed, hate, lust, jealousy, racism, money, and all those kind of things. Those when you are under those systems, your psyche is sick. You are a sick human being. So these human beings, like I say, who have gone away from themselves to such a degree that they have set up an alternative law to the law. Because having gone away where they are now completely in ignorance, totally, they deem to themselves now that they need a law to govern themselves, and has created an inhumane law away from natural law. And is prosecuting all kind of they use their law to brutalize more their fellow human being, claiming that this law is just. There is no law that you can create outside of the law that is just. All laws outside of the law is unjust. and is created by unjust men and is seen over by unjust, wicked and evil human beings. Not those who can comprehend intelligence, because those who can comprehend intelligence would never create any law, because those who can comprehend intelligence understand that there is a law already, and the purpose of life is to live by the law of nature, if you want to call it that. You don't want to call it the laws of the terrible and dreadful overlord himself, Rastafari, the High General. Yeah? Then you can call it the law of nature. Call it what you want. Just know that, like I'm telling you, this law was before you and before your grandfather and him grandfather and him grandfather and go way back before all human beings. So we are supposed to come here, like I tell you, it's like a dance. The law is a rhythm, and you are supposed to rock with the rhythm, join in with it, but you are fighting against the law, and you're dancing against the rhythm of life. Life is a rhythm, but you are not in the rhythm. You know what I mean? You come here now and resist the rhythm of life, and have set up now an what I call an ungodly system, which is an unjust system, because those systems there, those systems cannot be right. You know what I mean? So the system that are set up here on earth now are not run, or is not under the guidance of those who are intelligent. It is under the guidance of those who are out-intelligent. And those who are out-intelligent are not positive beings, they are negative beings. And if you are a negative being and you set any system up, it cannot turn out to be right. It's going to be evil. It have to be. You know, because there's only two ways in the universe, positive or negative. And if you are not intelligent, you are out-intelligent. And if you are out-intelligent, you are a negative being. Hence the fact why I tell you these religious people of whatever persuasion are all negative. Because they set the outside agenda. They know nothing of the inside agenda. These are the people who claim that God sends saints and prophet and angel and archangel. Well, but of course God would have to send these things to them, because like I say, they are deluded. Only a deluded mind, you know, when you haven't got a grasp on reality, I say, when you are out intelligent, you would be going on about God sent his son and the son died on the cross and the angel Gabriel and Abraham and all this. And that is for out intelligent people, not intelligent people. And when you're out intelligent, like I say, you are like a garden that is full of weed. Your mind is twisted. So of course you have to come up with twisted ideas. But have you ever heard any enlightened being, one who is truly enlightened, would ever come and teach that, oh yeah, I believe that God did send his son? You know what I mean? Every enlightened being know that that is just the wobbling and of outwardly intelligent fools who are holding on to the negative aspect of what truth is. You know what I mean? If your mind was healthy and fit, that means it can see things clearly and your eyes are open. What you would be observing is the law. Yeah? And you would observe that God cannot send anyone here under that law. Under that law, we are here already. And we are here to make a choice between good and bad. Now, why would God, well, I say, he can't send anybody, but if he could, why would he want to send somebody here to die for our sins? No, they don't need to send anybody. We are here to make a choice. And God and what you call God. I will just call that one the terrible and dreadful overlord himself, the High General Rastafari, the one that dwelleth from aeons and aeons and aeons, way back down in time. Yeah? That one who is the knower of all things in creation, yeah, cannot make a choice for you. You see what I mean? Cannot send anyone to rescue you like angel, or cannot send anyone to prophesy any prophet to you. Yeah? And the reason why that one cannot do it, it's because you already got the choice. You must choose. But you know how intelligent people are, they're so stupid, they're always saying that, oh, God can do anything. You know, because God is God, he can do anything. But like I've told you before, yeah, God can do anything, but it doesn't mean that God is going to cook your food for you and get your dress and go and plant your food for you. Why should God do such things when you can do it yourself? You know what I mean? So we can do things, we can make a choice. Why would God have to send a son to come and die for us? And why should God, like I hear the Christians saying, giving us our Moses must go up the mountain? I don't know what he got up there, if it was books, our commandment telling us, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt, giving orders. God cannot give any orders. God cannot give any orders saying, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not rob, thou shalt not. Why would God want to do that when the law is already set? Between positive and negative, you have a choice. But the outwardly intelligent man now, who is a lunatic and a crook and a liar and a thief and a deceiver, he's the one who's making up all this story. That he's God's chosen people, and that God have said send him and his lineage all kind of prophets going down. You know what I mean? But these thoughts are not coming from a fit mind, are they? They're coming from deluded mind. And one in this time, I say you have to make a distinction between those who are deluded, you know, mad, and those who are sensible. You know what I mean? So those deluded beings are the ones that make up stories and say that God promised them this, and that God has sent them X amount of profit, and that God has promised them they can go and take this land, and no doubt killing anybody who is on the land. When they come for the land that God promised them, they should kill them, murder them, and they are willing to do it as well. You understand? Because in their own delusion, because when people are deluded, you're deluded and you will behave deludedly. In their own delusion, God promised them such things. And in their own madness, God did send prophet to them to prophesy. God did send his only begotten son Jesus to die for man. But all I'm saying is firmly, that is the story of deluded beings whose minds are not fit to comprehend what is right and proper. And yet it's still in the 2013 year, they're all over the place. The Pope, all these big bishops are living off this goddamn lie. But no, like I say, if your mind is not fit enough or is trying to be fit, you are going to be you are going to be a coward and be afraid, and you won't be able to firmly identify these devils as deluded beings. You will continue to bring your children to get baptized in their idiocy, and to send your children to join in preaching what is not right and correct. You see what I mean? To come to earth and make a life out of foolishness and stupidity, instead of trying to face reality and find out what is right and correct for yourself. You know what I mean? Because you've got the intelligence. We've all got this intelligence within us. We can all bring it out. But we can't bring it out if we're following stupidity. Can't bring it out when you're going to church worshiping Jesus. You know what I mean? When you are following the last prophet that God sent. When I'm telling you that God cannot send no one here, it's a lie. God can't send anyone. Everyone is already here. Once you are here to make a choice. Not for God to send anyone. I say, so God never sent anybody. The people them who believe that God sent prophet, like I say, are those who are outwardly intelligent. And those who are outwardly intelligent are negative beings, deluded. They use this kind of conception to keep people's mind in subjection, I say, so they can rule over them and exploit them. But they are not there to show them the way to God like they are claiming. Because how could you show people the way to God if you do not know the internal way yourself? You see what I mean? And they don't, because they are not preaching it. No, they're not teaching it. They are following book and just repeat what somebody has said. So they have nothing to say for themselves. Like I say, these beings are empty barrel when I listen to them, because they cannot speak from their own heart or their own mind. You have to just repeat and say, oh, it says so in the Bible, this man say it, it says so in the Quran, sutra, this, that. No, you're not supposed to be forever ranting and raving about what somebody else say. If you was living honest as an individual being yourself, you would have something to say. The only reason, any being who hasn't got anything to say, the only reason why you haven't got anything to say is because you don't love what is right, and in your own heart and mind and soul, and you are not searching out that. But if you did, and you was searching with that desire, you would soon understand. Like I say, it don't take you long to understand, or to start to get to, I say less than 3 months' time. If one was serious, one would start getting the information. You see, and start to see an alternative way. Quickly it would happen, and you'll be able now for yourself to start to comprehend some of what is right and correct, apart from what these deluded beings are teaching you. And these beings, like I say, they always have to make a great big fancy building with all kind of stupid elaborate ritual, dress themselves up with all kind of fine linen, to make themselves appear good. Just to speak the truth. I don't know why anyone have to build elaborate building just to speak the truth. The truth is something you should be living. But no, you have to go and build a cathedral and grand mosque and grand temples and doing all kind of pilgrimage and silly ritual just to speak the truth and to live it. But if your mind, like I say, are deluded, which I'm saying, all religious minds are deluded. They are outwardly intelligent, not inwardly. So they are following the outward form of religion then, but not the inner. They don't know the inner, just the outer, and the outer is negative to the inner, while the inner is positive. So these beings are completely lost. Hence the fact that you're supposed to know God, as an example, and you spend all your life ranting about not God but His Son Jesus. What is it? Don't you want to know God? Why you should be ranting and raving, right, about Jesus? Sometimes I don't know how these lunatics, if they have Jesus as God's Son, or if they have Jesus as God's Son and God Himself as well wrapped up into one. I don't know. Because these, like I say, these beings are lunatics, are nutters, and their faith, or what they call faith, is a confusion. I mean, you know what I mean? They all, I don't know, I said crazy. Don't know who come. Let's say it was Constantine who come up with this idea of Jesus being the Son of God and was born by some ridiculous virgin birth, you know. But you will never, like I say, find anyone who understand the internal way. Now, coming up with any stupid story like anyone being born of a virgin birth. No doubt I think these nutters, I call them nutters, must be trying to portray to those now who have joined them in their idiocy that because they are inadequate in themselves and don't want to be adequate, because they want to remain dirty. Now, they are trying to say to the congregation that, look, the only reason why Jesus was so pure, he never had a father. God was his father, and that was the reason for his purity. But we know who have fathers. We are sinners. We cannot escape sinning. So that is their excuse for carrying on their wickedness. And then when they claim now that the murder this who they presume is God's son, that this will wash away their sins. So all these are on earth now, these deluded, praying to this son, while committing great sins against a fellow human being as well, you know. But they are praying to this son now, that he now will appeal to God on their behalf to forgive them for their inadequacy that they was performing in life. Ain't no forgiveness, so you're goddamn wicked, because your story ain't right. Your story is a lie. It's only because human beings are not brave enough. They are cowards, I say. While they should, for centuries, for the 2,000 years that this lie has gripped the soul of man, that man is not brave enough. In masses, I know that lots of men know that it's bullshit. But I mean, in masses, he's not brave enough to dismiss such bullshit. To look at the Jewish when in their religion who saying that they are God chosen people. No, we are to look at this and say them and that God who choose them to be chosen must be evil and vile. Because no God could, that is not a just God selecting some group of individual from all human being to be his. You know what I mean? Such a God is sick. So these beings who believe that and who write such a thing, they only do it for because they are vile and wicked. You see what I mean? Outside beings. Beings who was, like I say, out-intelligent, but beings who lack intelligence. You know? God cannot choose. You are here to make a choice yourself between good and bad. You're running about the planet about you are God chosen people. And Abraham did. The whole of that story is a lie because it's an outside thing, isn't it? And intelligent beings come up with stories. And any ideas that an intelligent being come up with about God is a lie because they don't know nothing. They come up with these ideas to make money, to deceive their fellow human beings. You understand? When you are inwardly intelligent, you know that God cannot send any prophet. This is just a matter of choice. When you choose yourself, like I'm saying, any man who chooses to do the right will end up trying to advise his fellow man that this is the best way. You see what I mean? And he, whatever intelligence he gets through choosing to do right, he will share that. But he's not doing so because God sent him. It's because he make a choice to understand what is right. And he now understand it and want to share it with his fellow human being. But it's not because God sent him. God is sent no one. God haven't got the power to send anyone. When I say God hasn't got the power, God has the power to do everything and all things. But God ain't going to send no one to rescue you or to tell you what is right and correct. Why should God do that when you can find that out your goddamn self? You know what I mean? So yes, it is deluded beings who go on about angel and archangel and God sending his son and the amount of profit. Those beings are, I would say they are the exploiters of their fellow human being. You know, they just like we start off the reason when we are under attack from our fellow human beings. You know what I mean? These are the exploiters of their fellow human being who make up stories like that and set up religion to exploit them, to deceive them, to tell them what they do not honestly know, to give them a belief, to keep them away from knowing. Because once you have a belief, you don't want to know, no, you end up believing instead of knowing. So that's what religion is. It's a device to stop you knowing. And at the same time, because the system is a money-making system, make money out of you covertly. Religion is the richest institution on the planet, I say. No one can come, not even the men who are making ammunition or motor car, can compare to the pulling power of these devils who are behind the running of all religion and in the outward form. And all outward religion, like I say, is run by deluded beings and for negative purpose, nothing positive at all in there. You know what I mean? But you ain't going to understand this, coming back to what I'm saying, unless you self-discipline and move away from negativity and open your eyes where you can get your own understanding rather than be just following, like I say, the blind, having the blind leading the blind and being deceived by people because they are well dressed or because their particular building to God is a very big building. Buildings to God doesn't make you know in the truth or nothing. The only way anyone can know truth is to live honestly, not by going to any one of these buildings. Like I say, anyone listening to what I'm saying, if you want to laugh, I do it regularly here. Just go on, if you are on the Sky Television channel in England here, just go and have a look on your God channel. And 820, from 820 and you'll find the Islamic one as well. And listen to these men speak about God. But see, look at the audience that they're speaking to. They always have a very impressive audience. But every one of them is preaching what they don't know. He's preaching from in the dark. And just all of them is Jesus preacher. The whole lot of them is deluded. But, like I say, most people listen to them. Why is this so? Because who would listen to these goddamn fools, I say? No intelligent being. Because once any being, and don't forget, intelligent being is everywhere. The odd man is waking up here, there. Once such a being wake up, ain't no way he's going to be listening to these idiots. In fact, he'll be telling you what I am telling you, that these are idiots. And that there is no way that we should listen to them if we ever have the desire to save our souls. These are soul capturers. That's why they're after converting people. Don't you ever say, every time I hear that word, I have to repeat it. Convert. To con one is to deceive one. You know what I mean? That's why they have to conning you. Convert. Why should you be born and be converted into anything? Whatever you are, you already is. You already that in it. Whatever I am, I am. I don't have to become anything else apart from what I am. So why is anyone becoming anything? Why is anyone becoming something that you have to join, like a club? So you become a Christian, you become a... And maybe people say why I become a Rasta. The reason why I become a Rasta, because I don't have to do anything in it. I just say I am a Rasta. I never went and joined. It's not a club. You know, I'm not taking orders from no one within the organization of Rasta. Rasta is not an organization. You see what I mean? That's why I'm a Rasta. So that when I speak, no group of Rasta can come and tell me, what you're saying has got nothing to do with Rasta. Because I'm not in no club with them. I am not in an organization. Rasta means the freedom to choose for oneself. You see what I mean? So I am free to choose for myself and to say what I want to whoever I want. Mother, father, brother, sister, anyone. Grandfather and way back. Anyone at all. Because Rasta grant I the freedom to do that. You see what I mean? If I was a Christian, I couldn't say that because I would have been in some denomination and it wouldn't be in agreement with their rules and regulation. Or if I says I was a Muslim, I would come under another box. But I am not in a box when I say that I'm a Rasta. I is free to use my own faculties and to think for myself. And now I'm telling all human beings, this is the prerogative of all human beings. Religion is just a device set up to stop you doing such a thing. Claiming that God has already sent the prophets and the saints and the archangel and all these people. So that you don't have to use your own faculties. And I'm telling you, no, this is not so. They're telling you a goddamn lie. You are supposed to use your own faculties. Don't rely on these false people telling you about God sent prophet and lots of angel and him son and all that. God don't have no son, never send any son. It's a goddamn lie. But burn the God who sent his son here to die. Burn him out and run him. Yeah, we know a higher God than you. And we say you is an idiot. That God and the followers, all of you is following that God. Yeah, I tell you, listen, go and tell your preacher that I says the God that sent his son here to die for the rest of humanity is a goddamn idiot. And furthermore, it's a cruel and evil thing for a God to do. We burn such a God in the fire. We burn the God that sent lots of prophets here. Yeah? Burn that God. We don't like any God sending prophets. Because I don't know if he's here, that God is a weird God. Because it look like because he's away from his creation, he's got to send all kind of lunatics down here now. Like the angel Gabriel and, speaking to certain people and well, we don't check for such a God. We run away such a God. The only God that I know is the God that is in his creation. And don't need to say here. Because we are all here already. You understand? But that's not the way deluded people see things, And you've got to remember that, trust me, deluded people are running the world. Both politically, religiously, business-wise. All these are deluded beings. They do not understand what is right and correct. They do not know themselves. From you don't know yourself, you are lost. From you are lost, you are likely to behave in a deluded and inhuman way towards your fellow human being. Hence the fact that one side of the family is attacking the other side. You know what I mean? It is because the other side has been could say they are infected by rabies or some form of sickness that make them deluded, where they will now kill the sister and the brother, mother, whoever. You know what I mean? They are insane. And when I say insane, it's just because my vocabulary is wicked. It is not wicked, limited. So that I cannot find the full range of words to describe these beings, how they should be fully described, these deluded, deranged beings who we look up to and admire, who cause so much destruction, not only to their fellow human beings, but to the earth, our mother itself. They got no care, no love, nothing. They just like they just like dead stone. Yeah, that once more a cup drop off the table and never break. You know what I mean? Things are always falling. But we don't break in we just carry on rapping just the same. Yeah, these deranged beings. But nevertheless, you know, once you understand life yourself, you realize that if it wasn't for the fact that you understand life, then I don't know how we could take. Maybe I would have to turn a kill and try kill a few of these wicked beings physically, you know. But because of the understanding, you realize that no, you don't have to kill them physically, because every being have to pay for what they do themselves, because there is a law and there's consequences to action. Sooner or later, what goes around come around. You must pay. So when a man definitely know, I don't know about any man, but I am about 5,000 trillion billion % certain, and a lot more trillion and billion upon that as well, that any man who come here and do wrong, he must pay. Because I know the law. I know how it works, innit? So, I don't have to go worrying about what the wicked is doing. Because trust me, wicked man, whatever decision you take and make against your fellow human being, you have to pay. Ain't no escaping the law, like I tell you. Because the lawman, well, I am a lawman, but they have other man in the law as well, you know, man like memory. Those things, they don't forget anything, you know what I mean? They remember everything. So memory is making note of what you are doing. For when the mighty death, which is another general, come and remove you, so that you are going to reap what you sow when you go there. Because you can't die in it. That's another thing that I am about 5,000. No, not 5,000, man. See, about 100,000 billion trillion upon another 500,000 billion trillion % certain that you cannot die. Yeah, that's how certain. I am certain beyond certain, man. And beyond that as well, certain that you cannot die. And I'm that amount of % confident that memory is videoing you for that very reason. For when you shift. When you shift, right, let your police and your personal bodyguard protect you. Or better still, let your billions that you got protect you. Take it with you, right? And bribe the other side down there. And you take protection with that. No, better still, when you go and take all your property with you. All the gold that you have here, take all your women with you. Oh, they will be coming as well. Mighty death sweep it all. You can wait for them, yeah? Tie them down there. Because I'm telling you, the full weight of the law shall come down upon the wicked head. I never says God is going to come down on anyone head. I say the full weight of the law. Because, this universe here is run by law, my friend. Not any joke law, serious law. And those who break the law have to pay. No matter what you do. Breaking the law, you have to pay. Unless you make correction. Anyway, if you don't want to make correction, you will have to pay for what you are doing within the law. And I'm sure now that I've gone deeply to expose the other side to you, so that, like I say, you can flee. You can flee from out of Babylon. Understand what I mean? Before it's too late. Anyway, I and I is going to fire out and go and find something to eat in the fire. One love, Rastafari, live it and win it in the fire.